How safe do you feel in the community? Are you worried about somebody breaking into your house, somebody stealing your iPad out of your car, ladies, somebody just taking your purse off of you? I've enlisted the best of the best here in Glendale, one of Glendale's finest, to share with you safety tips on how to be safe in your community. As I promised you, one of the finest here in Glendale is Captain Carl Povilaitis, Captain of Field Services. How are you, Captain?
Doing well. It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. How safe are we here in Glendale?
You know, here in Glendale, we are very fortunate. We live in a very, very safe community, and people feel very comfortable walking out on the streets on days like this.
What are some simple tips about feeling a little bit safer in your community and in your life?
You know, even though we live in a very safe community, there are some very simple things people can do to make sure that they stay safe.
Such as?
One is lock your door when you leave the house.
Okay.
There are still people who leave their doors unlocked. The other is, you know, people do like to break into cars. So if you have valuables, don't leave them in plain sight inside the car, and make sure you lock the car. It still amazes me how many people don't bother to lock their car and then come back and find things missing.
Captain, what do we need to know about safety in general here in the community? What's going on here for us in Glendale?
You know, as I said, we've had a very good year. Most of our crime has gone down. We've actually experienced a 7% reduction in our Part 1 crimes. So it's very safe. But one of the reasons that we are that safe is we have a good working relationship with the community. That partnership between the police department and the community is absolutely essential. And so as people go back to their neighborhoods, it's really important that you know all of your neighbors. If you're going out of town, you'd want to let your neighbors know that they are leaving. We've had incidents where a U-Haul truck or a strange car pulls up in the driveway and someone who's on vacation has been burglarized. If your neighbors know you're out of town, then at least they'll call the police department, and the community as a whole will be a lot safer.
And also I would suggest don't post it on Facebook.
Oh,
Hi, I'm leaving town, please take everything. And also, people that leave messages, hi, it's John Smith, I'm not home. Doesn't that invite someone into your home?
It does. I mean, you do have to use some common sense.
Right.
You know, safety is partly your responsibility, and letting people know when you're not here is not a wise thing to do. Let your neighbors and people that you trust know what you're doing so that they can watch out for you.
And also, another tip for neighbors is if your neighbor leaves, pick up the newspaper.
Yes, don't let the mail pile up, don't let the newspaper pile up, you know, move it out of the way, you know, make sure your grass gets mowed when you're gone.
Captain, thank you so much for saving us here in
Absolutely. Greg, is that your car over there? Did you lock it?
Really? 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 Captain, please come.
I've been golfing for years. Golf is not just recreation for me, it's part of doing business. Lately, my swing keeps slowing me down, and the pain in my hip is making me feel old. So I went to see an orthopedic surgeon at Glendale Adventist Medical Center. I found that I needed hip replacement surgery and was pleased that they offered a minimally invasive approach. I was back at work within a week, and my swing is better than ever. Thanks to Glendale Adventist, I'm back in the game.
Here on HEALTHline, we're talking about community safety with Glendale Police Captain Carl Povilaitis and also emergency room physician Dr. Anthony Cardillo. And Dr. Cardillo, you wanted to add something about distracted driving.
Well, I think it's just distraction in general. I think obviously the hot topic now is texting while driving or using a phone. But the reality is, as you go through life, you should try not to be distracted in a lot of things that you do, whether it's putting on makeup or not paying attention when you're walking. I mean, I can go on for hours about the things that we see in the emergency department, the injuries as a result of people being distracted. And unfortunately, every so often, something bad happens, and a child gets hit by a car, or a child falls off of a countertop. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Things happen, life happens.
Right. So it's a matter of using the phone now as a reminder that we should not be distracted over a lot of things. So, for example, we're trying to hone the point, don't be texting while driving. Well, don't be eating while driving either. That's also a big distraction.
Thank you.
And don't do other things while you're driving, whether it's makeup, whether it's eating, whether it's, you know, reaching to the back of the car, whatever it is. Learn to focus on important tasks.
I was wondering, Captain, if you can give somebody a ticket for putting on, you know, the makeup in the rearview mirror while they're driving.
I think the most egregious example of distracted driving I can think of is someone who decided to use their iPad while driving. So you have to picture this, someone driving down one of our busy thoroughfares while using the iPad. And last I checked, there wasn't a section, but we do in California have a section about driving at a safe speed or not driving at an unsafe speed. Well, I'm here to tell you that the safe speed while using your iPad is 0. And that if you're driving while using your iPad, we'll give you a citation for driving at an unsafe speed.
Okay, I don't have an iPad. That wasn't me. Real quickly, just so we can knock this out. For crossing the street and paying attention to traffic coming, if a ball goes into oncoming traffic, kids don't run out after the ball. And what are the correct ways for kids and families to cross the street?
If you're a family with kids, hold your kids' hands.
Okay.
Walk across the street so that you're guiding them.
Great.
Set a good example.
Great.
Make eye contact with the driver. Make sure that car is going to stop before you step out into the roadway. You know, I can talk about legalities, but it really doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong as a pedestrian. If you get hit by a car, you're going to lose.
And if it looks like somebody is going to is so insistent on making that right, let them have the right of way. Because bottom line is, you don't want to get hurt.
Don't insist on it. As I said, I can walk out in full uniform and stood on a corner preparing to cross the street, and I can see the driver looking left because they're looking for traffic, and they don't see me. Even in uniform, I'm not stepping out in front of that car until they actually see I'm there. Usually, if I tap on the car or say something and they look at you, they look very surprised to suddenly see the pedestrian there. So it's just one of those things that we both have a responsibility in the community to look out for each other.
Oh, I love that. Even people on the street, you still have the same responsibility as people in the car.
Just because pedestrians have the right of way doesn't mean they don't have responsibilities.
Okay, great.
You can't think you control traffic just because you're a pedestrian. You need to be cognizant of everything you're doing when you're walking in the street.
Thank you.
I remember one of the enforcement details that the Glendale Police Department did where you had somebody dressed as the Easter Bunny, and motorists didn't even stop for the Easter Bunny.
You would think people would notice that.
Real quick question about that, though. When you're turning right or left into a crosswalk and someone is crossing, where is the legal limit? I mean, do I have to have a clear crosswalk before I can turn as a driver? Because
Mr. Traffic, Kenny Moore, says that the crosswalk has to be empty and pedestrians' feet have to be on the sidewalk.
I wouldn't want to disagree with Mr. Traffic, but I
love you, Kenny.
But I am. Pedestrians do have the right of way, and you cannot violate the pedestrians' right of way. You have to give them enough room that they can safely get past your car without any fear of injury or having to change their pace.
Well, what he said was the pedestrian has to be on the sidewalk before making a turn.
Legally, that's not accurate.
Okay.
Safety-wise, if you wait for somebody to be on the sidewalk, that is absolutely 100% safe. So if in doubt, wait for them to get on the sidewalk.
Fantastic. Thank you.
There's plenty of other ways in which people can be harmed aside from driving, crashes, this sort of thing, and that's being a crime victim and also being the victim of some kind of household injury. And we're going to be talking with the captain and the doctor a bit more about that as we continue our topic of community safety here on HEALTHline. Stay tuned.
Hi, are you a member of Facebook? You know, I am, because I like to know all that my friends and family are doing. Wait, did you know that HEALTHline has its very own Facebook page? All you got to do is go to Facebook, type in HEALTHline, find us, click like, and become part of the conversation about health, lifestyle, and the community. We post links, health tips, suggestions from you, the community, about what you do to lose weight, de-stress, have a happy, healthy lifestyle. Okay, once again, all you got to do is go to Facebook, type in HEALTHline, and become part of the conversation. Hold on. Okay, somebody just posted that if you drink an 8-ounce glass of warm water with lemon, it starts to invigorate your metabolism. Oh, along with jumping up and down for 60 seconds first thing in the morning. Okay, you know what? I've got to pass this on. Become part of the HEALTHline conversation. We will see you on Facebook.
I'm Captain Carl Povilaitis with the Glendale Police Department, and I'm here to give you a community health tip. When walking in Glendale, we ask that you look to live. When crossing the street, make sure that you look both ways and make eye contact with the driver. Stepping in front of the car is going to cause great injury to you if you're the pedestrian, whether you're right or wrong, and we don't want to see people get hurt. And even when crossing the street, make sure that every driver sees you as you cross every lane. By looking to live, you'll ensure that you'll be healthy and safe while walking in Glendale.
How do we recognize perfection? How do we attain it? For over a century, we've provided the best health care in Glendale by striving for perfection. And now we've made the biggest upgrade in our history, the latest technology, the best physicians, brought together in our new state-of-the-art digital campus. All in our quest for the only perfection that matters, you. Glendale Adventist Medical Center. Healthcare at a higher level.